Hello all, this is Sandeep Kumar and I welcome you back to my YouTube channel Math with Sandeep. So in today's video we are going to see how to find the limits using a rationalization method. Okay, so in the previous video we discussed about various indeterminate forms and we have also seen how to find limits using factorization method, and today we are going to see how to find limits using rationalization method. But before I can start solving questions, few things that you should always remember. So root a plus root b into root a minus root b is equal to what? You will get what? Using a plus b into a minus b. So a square minus b square. So instead of a we have root a and instead of b we have root b. That's what. Okay, now a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. Here root and square gets cancelled, you get a. Root and square gets cancelled, you get b. Okay, now so we already know that root a minus root b is the rationalizing factor of root a plus root b, and root a plus root b is the rationalizing factor of root a minus root b, and the product will give you a rational number a minus b. Okay, now similarly few more things that you must remember so that the solution will become easier. What does it means? We know that a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square is equal to a cube plus b cube. So using this particular identity, dear students, instead of a if you take a power 1 by 3 and instead of b if you take b power 1 by 3 into, then this becomes a power 2 by 3 minus a becomes a power 1 by 3, b becomes b power 1 by 3 plus, and this is b power 2 by 3 is equal to, then what happens? Instead of a we have taken a power 1 by 3 now, so a power 1 by 3 whole cube plus instead of b we can take b power 1 by 3 whole cube. So you will get a plus b. So therefore the rationalizing factor of a power 1 by 3 plus b power 1 by 3 is a power 2 by 3 minus a power 1 by 3 into b power 1 by 3 plus b power 2 by 3, and the product of these two will be equal to a plus b. Similarly, dear students, a power 1 by 3 minus b power 1 by 3 into a power 2 by 3 plus a power 1 by 3 into b power 1 by 3 plus b power 2 by 3 will be equal to a minus b. And this identity comes from where? A minus b into a square plus ab plus b square is equal to a cube minus b cube. So we get this one from this. Okay, now remember this and this, automatically you can be solving rationalization model questions very easily in limits. Okay, we generally apply rationalization method when the limit takes 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. Okay, now in this particular question, this is the first question where we are going to use rationalization method, because obviously the numerator of the function is in the form of root a minus root b, correct or not? But before that, let us see what form it is taking, which indeterminate form it is taking. Remember one thing, students, we will choose the method of limits by looking at its indeterminate form. Keep this in mind. When I substitute x as 0, the numerator will be what? 1 plus 0 under root minus 1 minus 0 under root. So which means 1 minus 1. The numerator will be 1 minus 1. So the numerator is approaching 0. And when x approaches 0, the denominator also approaches 0. So it is getting 0 by 0 form. And let me choose rationalization method and let us see what happens. The numerator is in the form of root a minus root b. Okay, now the denominator is 3x power 4, right? Multiply the numerator with its conjugate. The rationalizing factor of root a minus root b is root a plus root b. Okay, now so multiply with the same thing in the denominator. So and the numerator becomes what, dear students? So a minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. The denominator is 3x power 4 into root of 1 plus x power 4 plus root of 1 minus x power 4. Okay, so square root and square cancels. Here also square root and square cancels. limit x approaches 0. So 1 plus x power 4 as it is, and one of the famous mistake done by students is that they'll write minus, okay, square root and square cancels, and they'll write 1 minus x power 4. This is how they will make mistakes. But understand, there is bracket. Because of bracket, minus is for both the terms. Because of the bracket, minus is for both the terms. So minus into 1 minus 1 minus into minus plus x power 4. Please observe, do not make these kind of mistakes. Whole divided by 3x power 4 into, now you can apply x approaches 0 for this particular term alone. So what do we get? Root of 1 plus 0, which is 1, plus root of 1 minus 0, which is again 1. I just applied limit only for this particular term. So in the numerator, plus 1 and minus 1 gets cancelled. So limit x approaches 0. X power 4 plus x power 4 is 2x power 4 divided by 3 into x power 4 into 2. X power 4 and x power 4 gets cancelled. The person who was responsible for 0 in the numerator and 0 in the denominator is x power 4 here. He got cancelled, and 2 ones are 2 ones are, and the answer is what, dear students? 1 by 3. The answer is 1 divided by 3. So we are left out only with 1 by 3 now. So first one answer is 1 by 3. So I will give you a question. You can try it. Here is our second question. You can try this particular question, and obviously when I substitute x as minus 1, the numerator is minus 1 plus 1, 0 divided by, and substitute x as minus 1 in the denominator. Minus 1 plus 1 will get cancelled. Root 4 will be 2. 2 minus 2 is also 0. So when I substitute x as minus 1, this is taking 0 by 0 form. The indeterminate form which we are getting is 0 by 0, and obviously we can rationalize. So if you want hint, just listen this, or else you can forward for 10 seconds. The hint is that multiply the denominator and numerator with the rationalizing factor of denominator. What is it? 2 plus root of 4 plus x square. So multiply with this rationalizing factor in the denominator and numerator, and then you can proceed. You will get the answer. Okay now. So let me know what is the answer in comment sections. We'll go with next question. So our third question, limit y approaches c. Okay now. So root over this minus 2 root y divided by root over this minus root of 3y. First of all, let me substitute y as c. Our first step is always one thing, dear students. Substitute the number which the variable approaches. Okay now, when y approaches c, go for substitution method. So y is c. Okay now, so under root of 3c plus c minus 2 into root c divided by under root of c plus 2y means 2c minus root of 3c. The numerator is what? Root of 4c minus, if 2 goes inside, it becomes 2 square na. 2 square is 4 with c, and the denominator is what? Root 3c minus root 3c. So what form are we getting again? We are getting 0 by 0 form. So which means once again we have to use rationalization method. Let us see how to rationalize this. Clearly the numerator is also has root a minus root b. The denominator also has root a minus root b. Correct or not? Here in this particular question, we are rationalizing both numerator and also denominator. So carefully listen. It's very simple and very easy. So the numerator is root of 3c plus y minus 2 root y, the whole divided by root of c plus 2y minus root of 3y. So multiply the numerator with its conjugate. So rationalizing factor. What is it? Root of 3c plus y plus 2 root y. If you multiply in the numerator, you should also multiply with the same thing in the denominator. Root of 3c plus y plus 2 root y. And at the same time, rationalize the denominator also. Multiply with its RF, rationalizing factor. So the rationalizing factor of this is what? Root of c plus 2y plus root of 3y. Correct or not? If you multiply in the denominator, then multiply the numerator also with same thing. So root of c plus 2y plus root of 3y. Obviously, I can multiply these two using what identity? A minus b into a plus b. It is a square minus b square na. So this square, root of 3c plus y whole square minus 2 root y whole square. Okay na? I just multiplied these two. Similarly, in denominator, you can multiply these two. Okay, if you multiply these two using a minus b into a plus b, what will you get? A square minus b square. And dear students, this is left out in the numerator. Apply y approaches c here. See what happens. Apply y approaches c here separately. We can separate the limits. Substitute y as c. So this will be root of c plus 2c plus root of 3c. And similarly, you substitute y as c in this term in the denominator. Root of 3c plus c plus 2 root c. Okay now. So here root and square gets cancelled. You will get 3c plus y minus here 2 square is 4 and root y square is y whole divided by the same story here. You will get c plus 2y minus 3y. And dear students, this is root of 3c plus root of 3c 2 times root of 3c. And root of 4c plus, this is what, root of 4c only na, because if 2 goes inside it becomes 2 square, which means 4. Root of 4c plus root of 4c is 2 times root of 4c. Okay na. Next, so I'll just erase a part of the solution. So limit y approaches c, this is 3, yes, this is 3c, and y minus 4y is minus 3y. This is c, and plus 2y minus 3y is minus y, into, I can write this as 2 root 3 into root c. Correct or not? Root of 3c is root 3 into root c. This is 2 into root 4 is 2 and root of c. Okay, root c and root c gets cancelled. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. I can take 3 common in these two terms. Limit y approaches c, 3 into c minus y divided by c minus y into root 3 by 2. See, c minus y and c minus y will get cancelled. That's it, no more variables. 3 root 3 by 2. This is the answer, dear students. I hope it's easy. This is a question where we are rationalizing both numerator and also the denominator. Okay. So the person who was responsible for 0 in the numerator and 0 in the denominator, he got cancelled. Okay. Next, we'll go with next question. Here is our next question. When x approaches root 6, we are supposed to find the limiting value of this function. Dear students, observe one thing. First thing is substitution method only. Now we will see what happens. When I substitute x as root 6, the numerator is what? Root of 5 plus 2 root 6 minus of root 3 plus root 2 whole divided by x square. X square is what? Root 6 whole square minus 6. Obviously the denominator is 0. Correct or not? And at the same time, do you know that 5 plus 2 root 6 is root 3 square plus root 2 square plus 2 into root 3 into root 2. In the topic of surds, you should have learned it. 5 is 3 plus 2 and I wrote 3 as root 3 square and 2 as root 2 square plus 2 into root 6 is root 3 into root 2. Using a square plus b square plus 2ab, this is a plus b whole square. So 5 plus 2 root 6 is what? Root 3 plus root 2 whole square. Then what is root of 5 plus 2 root 6? Square root of this. Square root of root 3 plus root 2 whole square. And obviously square and root cancels. You will get root 3 plus root 2. So therefore, dear students, the numerator, the value of this is root 3 plus root 2. Again minus root 3 plus root 2 minus of divided by 6 minus 6. The numerator is approaching 0. The denominator is approaching 0. So this question is again in what form? 0 by 0. So obviously what are we going to do? Let us rationalize the numerator by multiplying the numerator with its rationalizing factor. The numerator and denominator with its rationalizing factor. So the numerator, which is in the form of a minus b, I will multiply with what? A plus b. So a is root of 5 plus 2x plus b is what? Root 3 plus root 2. If you multiply it in the numerator, you should also multiply in the denominator. So what is it? Root of 5 plus 2x plus root 3 plus root 2. Okay. Now using a minus b into a plus b, it is a square minus of b square divided by x square minus 6 as it is, and in this term you can happily substitute x as root 6. So what will you get? Root of 5 plus 2 root 6 plus root 3 plus root 2. Here no issues, this will be a finite number, we can substitute here. So limit x approaches root 6, this is what square and root cancels, you will get 5 plus 2x minus, open the bracket, a plus b whole square, a square plus b square plus 2 into a into b whole divided by x square minus 6 into, this will be just in the just before a minute I explained that root of 5 plus 2 root 6 is root 3 plus root 2. Okay now, so plus again root 3 plus root 2. And dear students, limit x approaches root 6, 5 plus 2x as it is, this is 3 plus 2 na, so this will become how much? This will become 5. So minus 5 minus into plus minus 2 into root of root 3 into root 2 is root 6. Okay, divided by x square minus 6 into root 3 plus root 2 plus root 3 plus root 2 is 2 times root 3 plus root 2. Okay, and plus 5 and minus 5 gets cancelled. You can take 2 common in the numerator. So limit x approaches root 6. If you take 2 common in the numerator, you will get x minus root 6. X minus root 6, and denominator of course I can factorize it. X square minus 6 is x plus root 6 into x minus root 6, correct or not? And at the same time in the denominator we also have into 2 times root 3 plus root 2. Okay, so the person who was responsible for 0 in the numerator and denominator got cancelled, and 2 ones are 2 ones are. Then we can substitute x as root 6 here. So what is our final answer? 1 in the numerator, root 6 plus root 6 is 2 root 6 into root 3 plus root 2. This is the final answer. And if you want, you can again rationalize the denominator, but it's not needed. You can stop here. And of course, depending on the options, you can decide whether you want to rationalize it or not. Okay now, so you can try the next question. So you can try this particular question using the rationalization method, as obviously it is approaching 0 by 0. And in case if you want any hint, a small hint that might be that you might know, because actually what I'm expecting is you know it and you also know what to do, but still in case if you do not get the idea, understand sin square x will be 1 minus cos square x according to identity, and 1 means 1 square only na. Using a square minus b square, you can write it as a plus b into a minus b. So we can write 1 minus cos square x as 1 plus cos x into 1 minus cos x. So this is what we are going to use while solving this particular question, and we'll look into one more question in the topic of rationalization, and then we will wind up the topic. So here is our sixth question, dear students. Limit x approaches 0, cot square x into under root this minus under root this. Since the question is very lengthy, okay na, so I'll take cos square x as, cos x as c for some time. Okay, and moreover dear students, it is in what form? When I substitute x as 0, cot square 0 is not defined. Okay na, it approaches infinity. Cot square, when x approaches 0, cot square x approaches infinity, and if this goes to the denominator, it becomes what? Tan square x. When this is in the denominator, it will be divided by tan square x, correct or not? And when x approaches 0, tan square x approaches 0. So the denominator is approaching 0, and substitute x as 0 in the numerator here. Cos square 0 is 1 only na. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 will be 9. So square root of 9 is 3 minus. Again cos 0 is 1 only, right? 1 plus 6 plus 2 is 9. Under root 9 is again 3. So 3 minus 3. So you are getting again 0 by 0 form. Let us see what happens if I rationalize it. Okay. So fine. Limit x approaches 0. What I am going to do is write cot square x as cos square x by sin square x for some time into, okay, let me write it as what? Under root of 2c square plus 3c plus 4 minus under root of c square plus 6c plus 2, where c means cos x. Okay, so to rationalize this, I will multiply with its rationalizing factor. What is it, dear students? Under root, the same thing, 2c square plus 3c plus 4. Instead of minus, we will take plus under root of c square plus 6c plus 2. And also in the denominator, if you multiply it in the numerator, you should also multiply with the same thing. 2c square plus 3c plus 4 plus under root of c square plus 6c plus 2. Okay, now by multiplied in the numerator and denominator. Next, what I will do, dear students, limit x approaches 0, cos square x by sin square x into, please observe, a minus b into a plus b is, what is it? A square minus b square. Correct or not? A minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. In denominator, dear students, what I will do is, let me substitute x as 0. C means cos x only, right? If I substitute x as 0, cos 0 is 1 only. I took c as cos x, correct or not? So c value becomes how much? 1. When x is approaching 0, cos x is approaching cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. And here, who is cos x? C. C is nothing but cos x only. Na? So c is approaching 1. You can substitute in the denominator. Root of 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus root of 1 plus 6 plus 2. If you want, you can substitute this as in the one as in the last step, but it's okay, nothing wrong in that. Okay, now square root and square gets cancelled. Limit x approaches 0, cos square x by, this is root 9, 3 plus 3 plus 3 6 into sin square x into square and root cancels, you will get 2c square plus 3c plus 4, and minus is there now, remember, square root and square cancels, minus is given for all three terms, minus c square minus 6c minus 2, no denominator because that 6 came here, right? Okay, now, so next, dear students, in the next step, so limit x approaches 0, again cos square x by 6 sin square x into 2c square minus c square is 1c square. 1c square means cos square x, c is cos x na. 3c minus 6c is minus 3c, c means cos x. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, so 4 minus 2 is 2, that's it. And you can factorize the numerator. How can I factorize it? By splitting the middle term. Okay, cos square x minus 2 cos x minus cos x plus 2. I hope you know how to split the middle term. Okay, so in case if you do not know how to split the middle term, do practice the problems on factorization. So you can take cos x common, cos x into cos x minus 2, and here we can take minus 1 common, cos x minus 2. So here and here we can take what common? Cos x minus 2 into cos x minus 1. So after factorizing this, it becomes this. Okay, therefore limit x approaches 0. Do one thing, dear students, in the previous step, instead of writing sin square x in the denominator, you write 1 minus cos square x because it will be useful in the next step. Okay, so cos square x as it is by 6 into 1 means 1 square, right? A square minus b square will be a plus b into a minus b. And in the numerator, instead of writing cos square x minus 3 cos x plus 2, we can write this. What we can write? Cos x minus 2 into cos x minus 1. So these two will get cancelled, giving you minus. Correct or not? Correct or not? Because if I take minus common, cos x minus 1 becomes 1 minus cos x. They will get cancelled. Now, dear students, you can happily substitute x as 0 because the person who was responsible for 0 in the numerator and denominator got cancelled. Now you can happily substitute x as 0, you will get your answer. So what is our answer? Minus cos 0 is 1, cos square 0 is also 1 by 6 into 1 plus cos 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 will be 2. The final answer is minus 1 by 12. This is our final answer, dear students. Okay, now, so I hope you understood the concept of finding the limits using rationalization, and I hope you have understood these problems, particularly the sixth question. Okay, do repeatedly practice so that you can remember it. And this particular step is the writing cot square x as cos square x by sin square x. and then sin square x as 1 minus cos square x, and then factorizing this particular step. This is where we generally doesn't get the idea. Okay, please observe that particular step. So do repeatedly practice, and so that you can do similar models. So in your reference book or in your objective book, so you can find more models like this. Do practice it. So I hope you understood the concepts very well, and you have understood the problems also, how to solve the limits, how to find the limits using a rationalization method. So do like the video if you have understood it. So let me know what is your feedback in the comment sections, and I have given some questions to try it yourself, right? Try it and let me know what are the answers in the comment section. See you all in next video. This is M. Sandeep Kumar.